Joining me this week is Giant Task, a man who in the past 3 months has really thrown himself into the streaming game, completing multiple 24-hour streams, and basically being live almost every day. Now you may have heard of Taskman before, the game mode where you set specific tasks that rank up in difficulty, and there's over 2,000 tasks. Well, Giant is actually the second furthest through the tasks in the Runescape 3 version of the mode. Now before we get into the intricacies of Taskman mode, we're going to cover everything from how he started playing Runescape, how he started streaming, and so much more.
Yes!
So I hope you'll join me as I head into the mind
Basically, I'm not picking up
of
coins,
Giant
I'm just looking at the drop
Task.
logger to see if I get a drop. Jesus Christ. Fuck me.
Hello, Mr. Giant Task. How are we?
Doing good. Just finished my breakfast early morning today.
Have you ever done an interview or anything like this before?
Not like this, no. I've done a couple small job interviews, but other than that, no, not really.
What's your least favourite question to be asked on a job interview? Because there's
My
some
least
nasty
favourite?
ones, aren't there?
Yeah, maybe it's just a basic one, like, what are you good at? Like, I don't know how to do this in English because I always have them in Dutch,
Yeah.
but, basically, like, your skills, your capabilities, that kind of stuff. I always just, yeah.
It's hard to put them in like a
Yeah,
coherent sentence.
I try to prepare them.
Yeah.
Something I haven't done for today, but luckily today is all about my game.
Indeed it is. So how did you find your game? Where was your starting point with it?
My starting point was in, I think, my first year of high school, which was in 2003, and yeah, I was introduced by classmates. I go like you do in high school and primary school. You go over to friends after school and you hang out and play, and they're playing stuff like Counter-Strike and I don't know what. And one said like, "Oh, I know this really great adventure game," and we had no idea. It was in English. I spoke fuck all English. I had no idea what we were doing. But my most vivid memory back from that day was us doing the Pirate Treasure Quest. Yeah, I just got into it in high school, and I remember friends bragging about being 91 rune crafting and making millions and millions of GP, and I was just there with my mithril set, just hanging around in the Varrock West Bank, trading up my gear and getting a couple good deals here and there. Yeah, just enjoying the game like everyone was back in the day, not really caring about progressing or membership even. I was just free to play back in the day. I didn't speak any English. It was good times.
Do you think you learned any English through RuneScape? Do you think that's helped
Yeah, I think I went from being bottom of the class to top in the class in one school year due to RuneScape. Like before I went to high school, I didn't even know the English word umbrella, and then after that, I was just teaching other kids on like what things meant, and yeah, it was it's crazy times. Steep learning curve, or a smooth learning curve for sure. Yeah.
So, have you been using RuneScape as a way to cope with, obviously, the current situation and stuff we've found ourselves in this year? Has it helped you, you think?
I wouldn't say it necessarily helped me. No. Just been doing my own thing. I was sort of in I like to call it painter's quarantine a week before it all started here in the Netherlands. I had painters over and they needed to paint like the outside, but also the doors and stuff. So I had to be home and keep the doors open. I had my rabbits inside. It was good fun. And then shit hit the fan and we had to stay inside. And yeah, I don't know. I was just doing my thing. I was back then working on writing my thesis as for university for a master's degree. I still am. Just slowly working on that ever so slowly. But yeah, that's something I could do from home or from university, so nothing much had changed. I just shifted from university to home, and that's about it, really. Nothing really for me that stood out in the way of using streaming or RuneScape to cope with the current situation. I can stay inside pretty easily,
Yeah,
and like my parents were not too afraid of the whole situation, so I got to see them as well.
that's good.
So
Because,
that was fine, yeah.
yeah, lots of people have been cut off from people for months now. It sucks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, the only thing that I guess I've struggled with is visiting my grandparents. I
Mm.
felt like I didn't want to put them at any risk.
Yep.
I felt like my parents were, yeah, I don't know. I felt like they could handle it better, so I
Yeah,
just kind of
that's
stayed away from my grandparents.
it's pretty
They live like
much
between me and my parents, so usually I visit them
on the way over.
like on
Yeah.
the way home or on the way over. Yeah, so but trying to avoid that for now.
Yeah, no, same here because I work in like retail in a supermarket, so
Oh yeah.
I'm exposed to a lot of people. So it's just like no, until things
Yeah.
are at some point, then go and see them. But yeah,
They have the jackets that says like keep 1.5 meters distance or
well, I'm
whatever
out
from the
back
supermarket.
in like the warehouse, so I do get
Okay,
less contact with people, but
fair enough.
yeah, there's all the protection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get back into RuneScape, something a bit more jolly. Where did the username come from? Because like Giant Task, I'm imagining is your Taskman account.
It's my Taskman account, yes.
What was the first one?
Ooh, my first one was like back in the day. It was my first name Maurits, and the number is 12, representing my age. That was Maurits 12. I think that account is still probably around level 8 combat. I think I quit the account when I died to the cows in Lumbridge. I just rage quit. And then I played on my other I shared an account with my brother for a long time, back when it was still illegal, so to say.
Yes.
Um, and that name was his first name with his age. And then I played on a variety of accounts. Eventually, I settled with my main that's now called Hill Giant, and from there I created the Taskman account Giant Task. The name Hill Giant came from the name release back in when was this? I don't even remember. It was a while back, probably like 2009 or so, 2010 maybe. I don't know. Back when they did like the
They cleared a load of names out.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
2011, somewhere around there. I don't know. They cleared a load of names out, and I think the first one I wanted was Ghost. I tried to get that. I didn't manage to get that one. And I tried Most Giant because I felt like into the. I thought the giants were all. It was a nice line of NPCs. Most Giant didn't work either, and then to my surprise, like Ghost was taken, Most Giant was taken. This was all in the same session, so you figured all the
the
cool
possible
things or
varieties.
whatever, all
Yeah.
the quote unquote rare usernames were taken, and then for some reason Hill Giant was still available. So yeah, I was really happy with that. That was during my time when I was grinding for my completion escape. So yeah, it must have been like 2011 or so, I would say.
So, what is your favorite NPC? Obviously, you said.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be a Hill Giant for sure. I think it's so iconic for RS as well. Not just that it's my in-game name, but everyone's memories. Like if you ask them, like, what did you do back as a noob? They call like the Dark Wizards south of Varrock. Like
Yeah.
I think back in the day, everything was centered around Varrock, right? Maybe before that, the trading was more in Falador, but a lot of it just played around Varrock, and it's the first city you see when you exit Lumbridge to the north. And then there's the dungeon with the hill giants. You kill them for the big bones. You kill them for the limp roots, and
Yeah.
for your combat XP. I guess that's really much, pretty much it.
I
So
I remember back like when I was first starting playing. I must have been like level 30 or 40 combat. This is back in 2006 or whatever it would have been. And I went into the sewers, and there was just a cash stack sat on the floor of like 150k, and I was like,
oh.
"Did someone leave this here? Is this stealing if I pick it up?" And of course, I just picked it up and went away, and I was like, "Bingo, won the lottery here."
Oh, the Varrock series, yeah. That was a place as well. I remember training up there with Crumble Undead, training on the skeletons or the ghosts or the zombies from across the river, so you would safe spot them. Oh, the river, it's more like the sewer, of course. I see
Yeah.
Taskman is in the Twitch chat saying that Linza should be my favorite NPC. Nah, I'm not a fan of Linza. Definitely not the Linza in Barrows.
No,
Oh
it just
man,
takes so
she's
long.
tough. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it must be a hill giant for sure.
So, well, Blinzer's technically a boss. So, what would you say your favourite boss in game is?
Ooh, my favorite boss. So I wouldn't say I've done much PVM. I think most of my PVM was from before EOC, but my main focus was always on going for achievements and achievement diaries and completion escape, that kind of stuff. I've done a lot of next before EOC, but now with EOC, what would be my favorite boss? Oh wow, well definitely not Barrows, that's for sure. Um, yeah.
Hellway is a very popular answer. Someone in
What
Twitch
about
chat just said that as well.
Hellway? I do like where they go with the mechanics in God Wars Dungeon 2, that it's a little bit more mechanics wise and you have to learn rotations instead of point and click. I would say maybe Twin Furies. Yeah, I really like the way. Yeah, I would go with Twin Furies probably.
It's quite a fun fight, isn't it? Especially like the bomb mechanic where you do the double damage
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
I
shared
I
between
was
them.
gonna say something like Elite Dungeons, but I haven't really done those. I'm really looking forward to them, but I can't say they're my favorite boss because I haven't really tried it. Um, yeah, Twin Furies. I really like the way they have the shared health pool. It's two different bosses at once. There's multiple things going on. One is fighting you, one is charging you. Then, yeah, I really like that boss fight.
And what about a favourite quest?
Favorite quest? Wow. Um, I'm one of those guys that spacebars most of my quests. Um, so I mentioned this before. My most iconic quest for me personally is Pirate Treasure because it reminds me so much of like back in the day and me
Yeah.
starting my account. So if I go from quest series, not a great fan of the vampire series.
The
Uh,
elves.
yeah, maybe it's so it's so mainstream. So maybe Plague's End. Yeah, I really liked what they did with Priv and how that turned out. And yeah, I would probably go for Plague's End.
Yeah, obviously stuff
I
like
like that.
Ritual of the Marjarat's very popular as well. Or Gothic Sleeps.
Well,
Both.
Gothic Sleep is good. Yeah, well, Rich with Margaret is good. World Wakes is good. Um, even stuff like Underground Pass, I really like. I don't think I really have a favorite quest, but um, yeah, Plague's End is something that's really stuck with me as well.
Because I quite like is it first or the second one of the series where you discover that the plague isn't actually a real plague. It's all like a fake sort of front. I can't remember which one it is that it's set up.
That's Underground Pass, I believe.
I thought Underground
Or
Pass was the one after that.
you mean with the Plague? No, that's
Just as like a storytelling thing, I thought it was quite good.
yeah. Is that Biohazard? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, that
Biohazard.
sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Because you bring the note paper over and he's like, wait, what's going on? There's
Hmm.
no plague. And then, what do you mean there's no plague? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no plague. So, I
All
see there
right.
some people calling one small favor and the swamp, the Myra or whatever.
Do you remember your first 99?
I was gonna say yes instantly. Yes, I do. I had to give it a moment to think. I also remember the date. It was 99 Thieving on New Year's Eve 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. And then exactly 1 year later, I got 99 Room Crafting.
They were the first two, were they?
No, those were the first two, yes.
Oof.
I have all the dates and years in my notes on the main when I got the 99s. It's fun to look back at and see when I started grinding hard. It's like multiple 99s in a week, and yeah, I ended up maxing with 99 cooking.
Okay.
So,
Cooking's been a lot of people's first when I've been asking them, so
yes,
it's a nice
that's why it
easy
ended
one.
up being my last one. I felt like, oh, everyone does cooking first, and I don't have 99 cooking yet, so let's just save it. Like, cooking, it doesn't really do anything for you, so why would I train it up right now?
What is your favourite skill to train?
My favorite skill to train right now probably would be on my Taskman, probably Slayer. It always has been dungeoneering because of the group aspect,
Yeah.
and I really like dungeoneering. Although on an Ironman you can't group up and you have to do it solo. It's still a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I like what they did with the um, that you can run solo large floors now, which is something that challenges me. But Slayer as a whole has more depth.
There's
I
quite
don't
a
know,
lot of
but
variety in it.
there's a lot of variety in it. Yeah, Dungeoneering probably has more depth, like figurative and literally as well. Um, but yeah, Slayer definitely is my favorite skill.
And then how did you find like archaeology?
Um, I haven't done much on the main. I started it when it first came out to test it for Taskman mode. I got up to level 50, and then I was like, I'm using all these porters and stuff. I don't have that on my Taskman. I should probably not get too involved in the skill because it will feel very horrible on my Taskman, and I know I will have to train it up to like around level 90 probably
Yeah.
instantly because of how far I was progressed in the challenge.
Hmm.
It's been fine, honestly. I've done everything without porters really, so I've been using my premier artifact and sometimes Beast of Burden to store some stuff for the more farther away
Give yourself some
material.
longer trips. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like it. I like how there's the lore woven into the skill with the mysteries, and yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not bad to train at all. It has a nice XP curve to it as well. So um, yeah, it's just that on Taskman you are always under geared for everything. So I'm 95 archaeology and I'm using a crystal or bane mythic, which is not ideal,
Yeah.
but I mean, just takes a little bit longer than normal, but it gets the job done.
So, is there any activity in game that you wish was more popular? Any activity that you really like doing, but maybe there's not enough people around anymore to do it?
Um, I do miss minigames not being active outside of their spotlight for sure. I think it's good that we have a spotlight system so that minigames are active. But for an Ironman, I would really like to try out Trouble Brewing, but it's locked for Ironman. Um, we can't get any of the rewards associated with it. I think it's something that would be very fitting for Taskman. Um, I have never really gotten to explore the minigame. It's always been dead content to me, and I wish I could give it a try on my Iron Man for sure.
Okay.
But in general, yeah, minigames outside of Spotlight.
Yeah. Just a bit more fun scape rather than efficiency scape, I suppose.
Yeah, for
Is
sure,
there?
for sure. Yeah, that's definitely been my mindset for a good couple years now.
Yeah.
Just have fun in the game. Like I don't. I'm one of those players that tries to not do their daily challenges, and I know there is some things on an Ironman that you have to do, such as especially not Taskman, because you can't just go runecraft because you need if you want to do runecrafting, you need a task that allows you to gain runecrafting XP. So stuff like buying runes, buying meats from the shops, those are things that I do, but that's like those two and Viswax is pretty much the only thing that I try to do daily. And even then, I don't do it daily. So um, yeah, try to stay away from that. That's what burned me out from Ironman mode initially. So
So, what is your favourite pet?
my favorite pet.
Can be skilling or a boss pet or.
Yeah. Uh, so when I played, there were no pets really. There were just the boss pets. There were no skill pets.
Yeah.
So I haven't explored all of the skill pets yet. I really like the look of Ace and how it's the hunter pet, how
Yep.
it's a bird and it flies instead of follows you around like a. It's more like a. It's not something magical. It's just a little birdie. I like that. That. Hmm.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the Dungeoneering pet, the Hope Nibbler. I have that on my main. It's the one that costs, is it 1 million Dungeoneering tokens? But like I have a lot of pets that I like, but you can't override them,
Yeah.
such as the Saradomin Owl, the Zamorak Hawk, those egg things from the bird nest that you incubate. Those were like OG pets to me. Yeah, probably go with like the Saradomin Owl or the Raven.
You
Those are
like your
pretty cool.
birds?
Yeah, I kind of do actually. Yeah, now that you mention it, didn't think of it that way. I mean, of course, on my Ironman I have the Hellweir pet, which was amazing. I'm sure you will attach the
The
clip
clip,
for
of
that
course. Yeah.
in the YouTube video. That was insane, but I have that as my standard override on my Taskman. But yeah, no, I really like the ones. Yeah, it's a shame that you can't override them and you can't have a familiar out while having them summoned, so it's a bit hard to
Actually, show them off. Yeah.
yeah, show them off, grow them, that kind of stuff. But they will go in my menagerie eventually. Yeah, I
So
like
let's get into your specialty at the moment, Taskman.
my
For anyone
Taskman.
that
Yeah.
doesn't know what it is, can you give a little summary of what the mode is?
Yeah, so Taskman is a mode where you yourself are no longer in control of what content you are doing. Um, it covers everything from account creation until the very late end game that not even everyone has, or not even any. I don't think anyone right now would be 100% completion of Taskman. You generate a random task and you complete that task until you're finished, and then you generate a new task and you progress from the beginner tier to the god tier by completing these random tasks, one tier at a time, one task at a time, and it just uh, eases you into the game, even for new players, um, due to the tier system, and yeah, you're just slowly progressing your way through the game in a very random, inefficient manner, which is actually extremely enjoyable.
I guess it makes you experience everything in the game, isn't it? That's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's really a jack of all trades. Yeah, you just do everything really. Whether it's city quest in Manifos, whether it's achievement diaries, quests, finding a needle in a haystack, you name it, everything is in there. And then there's stuff like the little Easter eggs that Jagex likes to put in their games. Those are all in there as well, usually in the form of a secret task, so you can't see what it is until you roll it, which is a nice addition as well. Yeah, we recently switched from a spreadsheet, online Google spreadsheet, which was getting massive, to a fully developed website by someone in the community. He's done an amazing job, and yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can probably find the link down in the description.
Yes, of course.
Go check it out.
So, what would you say your favourite task you've been given yet is? And then you know what's coming after favourite.
Yeah, oh, I did not prepare for this at all. What's been my favorite task? Wow.
Whether it's something new that you didn't like experience before, or
Yeah. I like the Wilderness Slayer, even though I did not do this on stream. It's not something I had done before. Upgrading your emblem every however many tasks it is, and the risk and the thrill of when you die you lose a tier. Also, not only, yeah, mainly because also it gives you a very big reward at the end. You get a tier 87 weapon. plus a lot of upgrades to your account in general. Other than that, I think I really liked most of the Master Questscape stuff. It's something that never really crossed my mind on my main to go for the Master Questscape. I always thought quests were boring and required spacebar to go through, and well, most of them anyways. But then to see what all these post quest rewards are really opened up something for me. So that's one of the categories for sure that really caught my eye.
Okay, and now your least favorite.
My least favorite. Ooh, there's a couple that come to mind. Maybe the chat can help me with this. They've all been watching, of course. There's a couple that come to mind. The first one that I was really excited for was my first God Wars Dungeon 2 task, which was a unique from Hellweir. I was in full bandos with a tier 75 main hand weapon and a tier 82 offhand weapon. No overloads, only tier 70 prayers. I was using Desert Souls, and it took me 200 kills or 201 kills to get the pet. That was probably one of my frustrating times on the Taskman.
So would a unique have just been the wand and orb, or was it?
It would have
crest?
been a wand, an orb, a crest, essence, or the pet. Yeah.
Okay, so the essence would have counted. So that's
The essence would have counted, yes, and it took me 200 kills to get nothing with the pet. So this is when you went to Elite Dungeons with Billy and Ari, or Isa. Yeah, that was something as well. One of them had an Elite Dungeon task, and I grabbed the Reaper to join them. Yeah, we just kept dying and dying and dying, and we didn't get past Variglyph. That was something special as well. Yeah, just 3 inexperienced, undergeared noobs. Yeah, I see a poop scooping in there. I did a 14-hour stream of turning the manure on the manor farm. There is 2 random mod items that you can find there: Mod Dace's Homework and Mod Dolan's Rubber Duck, and they have a drop rate or find rate of 1 in 10,000 each. So you're just stuck there turning the manure, and people don't know about it until they accidentally find one.
Yeah.
And I knew about them, and I knew what I was getting into, and I just had to dig my way out of the shithole, literally. That was such a meme stream. Yeah. Wow. And the funny thing is, I went back there to AFK a little bit, just get a bit of passive farming XP, like I was probably eating some chicken wings or something. Then I got a second Mod Days Homework, so you can actually get duplicates. And I know I will have to get back there in my next year to get the
duck.
Rubber Duck. So
Oof.
yeah, it's gonna be a big one for sure.
So are you limited in the tasks in that you can't deviate from that task, or so like you can only train whatever the task is?
So you roll an active task, but there's also an entire passive tier. The passive tier has 541 tasks in it, and they are all tasks that are time gated in nature, such as raids, such as breeding logs in
The
farming,
farms, yeah.
the farm stuff, minigame stuff mainly, like Castle Wars, the Halos, the Profound, Capes, Void Armor, Gut Raider, Anachronia stuff like
the base camp,
Arc Castaways, Manifold Cats, all the time gated stuff. That's all passive. You can work on it at any time as long as it doesn't give any experience that you don't need. And then there is farming, the skill farming in itself, which is a passive. It's the only passive skill right off the bat, due to the time gated nature of the skill.
Yeah, with the breeding logs and stuff as well. It's
yeah, just the fact that like you plant the seed and you would have to wait, and say you roll a task to do Mauritania diary, which requires you to grow a watermelon, and
Yeah.
you're one farming, and it's like, well, okay, now I have to plant a seed, and I wait 20 minutes or 80 minutes, and then I get level 6 farming, and then I have to wait another day for level 20 farming or whatever, you know. So, of course, with beehives, it's super fast now, but just due to the time-gated nature of the skill, it's been dubbed a passive skill.
So when did it start? Because I'm pretty sure it was Tedious, wasn't it? He was one of the
Tedious,
first
yes.
people to do it.
Tedious created the old school spreadsheet, and he was the one that had the idea for his YouTube series to start generate task, or the collection log series. There were all these Snowflake accounts around, people doing. I know for a fact he himself did a Zia only Ironman account. Of course, I have Swampletics. There's other Snowflake accounts, and I feel like I can't speak for him, but what I think he just wanted to have a unique account as well, but with a twist to it. So instead of being locked to an area, he's just locked to a random task. And he made a basic spreadsheet for it on old school. It was based on a collection log, and Jan and Jack took this to RS3 about almost a year ago now. They took the spreadsheet with his permission. They changed some stuff. They started adding in RS3 tasks over time. And it's just been expanding
Constantly.
ever since. We had version 1, we had version 2, up to version 6 or 7, and then everyone was required to download a new spreadsheet, import their progress. It was all automated eventually. Then it came to a point where the spreadsheet has become too big for Google to handle, and we were getting a lot of errors on Google's side that stuff weren't loading, and there were all these scripts running, and it was just way too big. So we found someone willing to work on a site for us. Yeah, the hashtag reference error. Yeah, that's a big meme in our community.
So how many tasks are there in total?
Right, let me have a look on the website. Where can I find this actually?
It's gotta be.
No, I maybe Billy can look this up. At least 6. Yeah, there is around
At
2 to
least 6.
3,000. There is between 2 and 3,000 tasks, I would say. The beginner tier alone has 116 tasks.
Because you're on the hard tier, isn't
I
it,
am in
right?
the hard tier, which consists of 361 tasks in total. It is the biggest. No, it's not the biggest tier tasks wise. Master tier has 364.
And then the passive ones are obviously added.
Yeah, the passive ones is
yeah.
like 500 some. Maybe we can get a definitive answer from one of the mods. I can quickly ping them in Discord to ask.
How long do you think it will be before the first person basically finishes it?
Years.
Or gets to the last tier, I guess.
Gets to the last tier. Wow. Yeah, God tier that's like on a whole other level. Right, I have a definitive answer for the total amount of tasks as well. There's 2,588 in total. But to the God tier, wow.
So what, for example, some examples of what's in the God tier? Do you know off the top of your head?
I can name stuff that's in the legendary tier. That you need to complete to enter the God tier.
Yep.
That would be obtaining the Pterosaur Maul. So that's
a lot of big game hunter. Yeah.
That's there's one task for the superior longbone, one task for the volcanic fragments, and one task for the tribal fin. It's probably finishing off the Revenant drop log as well, and the Chaos Elemental, so the Wilderness Slayer log. It's obtaining Shrimpy, the pet from killing Harakan in the Elder Kiln. Just basically finishing off a lot of bosses, like obtaining unique from Solak.
Yeah. So legendary is going to be like complete boss logs, 4K Talos, that sort of.
Pretty much, yeah. And then the God tier, the Abomination Cape is in the legendary tier too.
Christ, the heroes items are there as well, of course.
Yeah, the hero items are in the God tier. So in the god tier, you have obtain a unique Dragonstone armor piece, which are from the crystal chest in Priv,
Yep.
or from the crystal Triskelions. Obtain a unique from Soul Gazes, which would be either the pet or the Hex Hunter bow. The other one you would already have gotten in the legendary tier. Alright, it's finishing off all the boss logs.
Yeah, all the
Um,
Slayer.
It's all the skilling pets. It's getting all the unique brawling gloves. Finishing off lava strike worms, finishing off rune dragons, finishing off all the clue logs, such as explosive barrel, all the dice, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's
very, very
very
comprehensive.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's in the god tier, there's things like obtain a HSR, Hazelmere Signet Ring, get the insane final boss title, complete all the listed group PVM achievements, become the true warden, so the 4K and range standard skill. Just yeah.
Literally complete all the achievements.
Yes.
It's just perfect.
Basically
rune
things
school,
people have never done.
Mental.
Yeah. Well, like I know, for example, Duty XD. He's one of the top hard clue people in Clue Chasers community. He has completed, I want to say, probably around 60,000 hard clues, and he's still missing 2 third age pieces, and he's completed everything else. And that's only hard clues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's only that's his sole specialization. So, in all reality, it will probably be never completed. However, it's theoretically possible. There is probably people that could finish it that already started an account before we created the challenge. But yeah,
so
there is always something to work on.
So how does like new content get, I guess, sorted into tiers? Is that like a sort of discussion in the community, or is it kind of set by certain people? Or...
Yeah, so we have a staff team that consists of the admin team and just the moderators. And the admin team always discusses when there's a new update. They will look through the updates, see if there's anything new that's new content-wise. So no bug fixes or whatever that doesn't relate to a task, and then they see like where they discuss on how they see fit where it should be added. They ask for input from the community as well. Maybe test it on their mains, and then usually the day after we get a small patch for the website. We also have a suggestions channel on the Discord where people can throw in their suggestions on what they feel like should be moved, or if there is something that's missing, or if something should be changed. So one thing, for example, that changed recently was how the rogue outfit and the botanist outfit works. They were different tasks, and they have been combined in obtain a unique from the flesh powder factory. So you can do flesh powder factory to obtain Brian points for buying botanist pieces, but at the same time you can be searching the rubble for rogue outfit pieces as well.
Why do you enjoy the mode? What's your like? Why did you start with it?
Why did I start? I was on a break from Runescape. I started back on old school due to it having old school mobile. And eventually I somehow came across the game mode. Why it caught my attention is probably because it's achievement based. I've always been like an achievement hunter, completionist kind of player.
Yeah.
I don't just go there like sit at the Grand Exchange, buy boss gear, go to a boss, sell my gear, buy upgrades to do another boss, grind it out for money, and just work on having max gear or whatever. Like I could do that, but not all day. I want to do stuff like quests, achievements, diaries.
You like the variety when you play.
I definitely like the variety, and I always been someone to hop from I've always been like a skill hopper. I could never do ultimate Ironman mode, for example. So in a way, this is of course very grindy, but you know that you're going to get another task after that, which is something completely different.
Yeah, it's grindy, but you're never stuck on one thing for. Well,
Yeah, you
I
are
mean you
stuck on one
can
thing.
be, but
Yeah,
as in like not
usually
for huge lengths of time generally.
no. Yeah, exactly. There is definitely some tasks that take a while to complete, of course, but you always know the end goal and that you're gonna generate a completely random task after. I've so far completed. Can I see that now? I can't see how many tasks I've completed in total. Well, I've completed 43%. So let's say I've completed about 1,000 tasks in total.
Yep.
I've only had one back-to-back task ever, which was I got a drop from Kriara. I teleported out. I generated a new task, and it was obtain a unique from Kriara. And then it took me 5 kills to get it, so that was
That's
nice.
not
But
so
that's
bad.
that's the only time I've ever had a task that was back-to-back, so to say.
So how? Well, sorry. Well, do you still play old school, or have you kind of completely
No, I
stopped?
don't. No, I no, it's just not my game. I try it sometimes, but I always come back to RS3. So
Why do you
um,
think that is?
I think RS3 has more depth to it. I just like the game more than old school RuneScape, I guess, because of the ability system. It looks prettier. There's more to do. Um, yeah, like old school is nice in a way that it's very simplistic and it's just point and click. Um, and I mean both of the games have their pros and cons, but for me personally, I enjoy RS3 more.
That little bit more interaction, I guess, with the game more frequently. In some regard, like combat wise, sorry.
Yeah, you're more in control of your character. The main thing in old school, I feel like that's combat wise that you're doing is prayer flicking, which in a sense I feel is completely ridiculous that you require a level 43 in a skill that negates all damage possible.
Yeah, I haven't played
And
old school myself, but it does seem that prayers seem very, very strong.
and the fact that you can activate and deactivate a prayer in a certain rhythm, that you have your prayers up constantly, but it doesn't drain your prayer, just seems flawed to me. Um, but yeah, that's how the game is. That's how people that play old school enjoy playing it, and um, yeah, I always am an advocate of play the game that you enjoy playing, and
Yeah,
if you
of
don't
course.
enjoy it, then don't play it. And I'm not gonna bash on someone for playing a certain game. Never have, never will. If I do, it's in a joking fashion. But yeah, uh,
So you haven't got that sense of nostalgia that I think a lot of people that have come back to it, and
I
that's
mean,
how
I
they play
had,
it.
yeah. I wasn't playing RuneScape at the time, and then Old School came out, and I got hooked. I started playing in a very, very, very efficient manner. Um, I tried to grind it out, like doing all these certain parts of quests in an area, and then move to another area because, of course, there were no stamina potions. You had one agility. You had no teleport. It was a fresh economy. It was hard to come by. You had to play Ironman style, and that led me to being up on the leaderboards pretty high for about half a year. I would say. I think I was top 50. I was one of the first people to get the Barrows gloves. Got it in the first week. Um, I had a lot of fun on old school, but that was all for like half a year or so, and then it died down because there was no God Wars dungeon back when old school started.
Yeah,
Barrows was endgame, and I just felt like, yeah, like it's very nostalgic. I had a lot of fun, but
you had your
there's,
fill. Yeah,
yeah, I like, what can I do? I can go for max. I can complete the Barrows log, but yeah, that's really about it. Then it just started adding things over and over, and I think it's a good thing that they decide to let the community vote in certain things. I think that's something that RS3 can learn from, but I don't think that the community vote should be decisive.
They should be a good like way of getting the community's rough opinion, but not
For sure,
necessarily
yeah.
a set. If this goes through, we will do it 100%.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
indication, of course, what the community wants, and if it's an update that's like that gets say 80% yes votes, then you as a company you see that, wow, this is something that's really something the community wants, and if the community wants it, they're gonna be playing the game. So maybe we should think about adding this to the game. But yeah, like the direction old school is going right now, it feels like old school community is calling RS3 Easyscape, but I'm always calling old school Easyscape. Like the things they're adding in game, it just some things just feel ridiculous to me.
I
Yeah.
feel like naturally that's the way any kind of MMO or game like this sort of has to go. Is as you add more content, you can't have it be worse than existing content because no one will ever do it.
Yeah,
So it sort of
true.
it always has to be like that progression of everything getting faster or better. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
definitely true. Mm,
there's not really a solution to it.
it's I mean, yeah, there is a Model Ryan on Twitter has a great pinned picture about balancing an MMO, which is basically some kind of jigsaw puzzle that never fits. It's so fitting. Like, ah, it must
Because
be so hard balancing stuff, and yeah.
like when they were obviously implementing archaeology, like how would they get people to play it? I feel like the relics and stuff was quite a good way of actually getting people engaged with it because it gives you benefits
Yes,
across the rest of the game.
that's the main thing they focus on in Runefest as well. I feel like they gave out like this flyer with what relics were available.
Yes.
Wow, look at what this does, and this looks so cool. And yeah,
Have you been to Runefest then, or?
no, I haven't. No, um, I have done one RuneScape related activity in the UK, which was with my old clan back in the day, just a little meetup at one of the guys' place, which was a lot of fun. But RuneFest in itself, no, I haven't been there. I've watched the streams.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if I would want to go there. Maybe if I had some friends that would go over there, it would probably be fun. But I don't know if I want to go there on my own.
A lot of it is the social aspects. I went to the last
For
year's
sure,
one,
yeah.
and when I went, I only really knew Wazzy, like in the
Right, yeah.
community. Like I
Hmm.
stuck around and watched a few people's streams or whatever, but not really spoken to anyone.
Hmm.
And then I left like having spoken to loads of people and knowing them, and it
Yeah,
is
I'm
a
sure it's a
very
blast.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not been very appealing to me for some reason. I don't know. This year, of course, there is no RuneFest.
No,
Maybe next year, we'll see.
everyone will get to go. It'll be a virtual Runefest, or I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do because I mean
Yeah,
next year's obviously the 20-year anniversary as well. It's a
yeah,
big year.
yeah. Let's say if Taskman and Task only Ironman, the guys from Australia and New Zealand, if they go, I have to go as well. For me, it's only like just lift off, grab a snack in the plane, and then you're already descending down to London.
Yeah, Oz
It's
New
like a
Zealand
1 hour flight.
rather than 24 or 26 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very doable from the Netherlands, of course. So.
So why do you think RuneScape's popular in the country as it is? Because it's not really. It doesn't seem like there's a hugely like Asian population in the game.
True.
If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like there's no. I don't know if there are even Asian worlds. I'd imagine
I don't think so. No.
probably because it is literally English is the main language it released in. I don't know how long it took for others to come out.
Yeah, no idea. I remember that I wanted the Dutch version as well, just for the memes. But there's a German, French, and Portuguese server,
Yeah.
just translated all the way, of course. Yeah, I don't know why it's. There's always been a lot of, I feel like Scandinavian, of course UK, but like a lot of Scandinavian and Dutch and Belgian players. Um, I have no idea why that is. I couldn't tell you honestly. I don't know what it is about the Dutch people enjoying RuneScape.
Because obviously yourself, Protox as well. He's Dutch.
Yeah, Produx is
Yeah.
Dutch. Yeah. Just like, I mean, there is Dutch themed or Dutch flagged worlds, probably with the server in Amsterdam. There's like definitely a lot of Dutch people on there as always. I have no idea.
It's just a random sort of thing, like.
Yeah, I just remember like in high school, everyone in our library on the computer would be playing RuneScape. Like, no idea why.
Do any of your friends from school still play it?
I think some still play old school RuneScape. Yeah. Not many though. But there is some. I don't know anyone that plays our stream personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother and his girlfriend still play old school sometimes, so that's good fun. My youngest brother sometimes plays, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a staker, so he doesn't really play the game. Yeah, there's a couple I know that play old school, but that's it really.
So what do we think? Jagex's big update announcement this evening is going to be. Obviously, when this comes live on YouTube, it's going to be a bit out of date. But what are our predictions? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are saying it is just the quest.
I'm gonna be straight up here. I have no idea. I saw something in Discord earlier today that there was gonna be some stream. I have not been up to date with what is supposed to be coming out or what has been shelved. I usually just log on the game, I complete my task, and generate a new one. It would be nice to have some more information about the God Wars Dungeon 3, the Elder God stuff. But if it's gonna be a new quest, I hope it's gonna be a good quest and not one of those.
Not a slime quest.
Grab a top hat from a slime.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I feel like it's not going to be a release date for like Elder God Wars or anything like that, but I feel like it's definitely going to work towards it. I think it's going to be the quest, and I think the quest will obviously somehow tie in towards.
So I see someone in the chat saying that the images of Ma, that's what I thought as well, and that's why I thought of the Elder Gods and the Elder God Wars dungeon. But yeah, I think it's either that or the quest. Yeah, must be, surely. I feel like in a way there is a lot of pressure from the community about content.
Right now, yeah. Lots of people are...
I personally feel like we just had Archaeology. I'm still enjoying that. For me personally, there's a lot to do in the game still. There's a lot of things untouched for me personally. And I feel like quality over quantity is a good thing. Fixing current issues and
especially
making the game more playable, that for me is something very valuable, and I don't need to be fed with updates every week.
It kind of comes back to the whole like power creep thing as well. If you have updates every week, it's just going to be like hugely sort of progressed and sped up in some ways, like unless it's a quest every week. Whereas
but we don't want power creep, but we do want updates every time.
So
like that's
it's almost counterintuitive.
That's the RuneScape paradox. Yeah, I just see people bashing on no content a lot, and I'm like, guys, just chill. They're fixing the game. It's good. Like, I'm sure they care because they want to earn money. So,
yeah, like I've said this many times in the interviews, but I've been properly playing for a year and a half basically now. So I've still got so much content over those 19 years or so that I haven't touched. So it's kind of just people that have been playing all that time
and
that have
bet
exhausted it.
Everyone who's talking right now, like if they play a main account and they're saying, "Oh, but we need more content," I bet you none of them have completed Trouble Brewing. I can tell you that much. They're announcing that winter 2017 is coming.
Maybe the shelf broke.
Oh well.
Okay, let's move into how you started with streaming. Why did you decide?
Yeah. So it definitely started when I was involved in the Taskman community. Streaming has always crossed my mind. I always liked what people were putting out there on Twitch. I've always been watching Twitch a lot. Variety of Twitch, not only RuneScape. Um, I'm an avid fan of poker streams as well, not just people playing for themselves, but also watching the broadcasted tournaments. I like watching CS:GO pro tournaments, just people playing, picking stuff up. And then for me playing RuneScape, there's always been like amongst my friends, I was always one of the better players. Like by no means I'm a good player whatsoever, but I feel like in my clans I was always dubbed like the walking Wikipedia and that kind of stuff. Like I knew things about the game, and people always wanted to see it from my perspective. And then when playing Taskman, I started a bit late and I worked my way up the leaderboards pretty quickly, without even paying much attention to it. Like I said, I just log on the game, I check my task, I go do my task, and when it's complete, I click complete, and then I click generate, and then I get a new task, and that's just the way I go. And I started streaming on Discord for friends a little bit, just in a voice channel, muting my microphone. I didn't have like a headset or anything. I didn't have a great PC either. I still don't, honestly. And then from there, they were like, I was like, "Oh, guys, you wanna watch my stream?" And they were like, "Sure. What's your Twitch?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's on Discord." Um, yeah. Eventually, I was like, people were saying like, "Oh, you should make YouTube videos," and I was like, "Nah, I just
Too much effort for the editing.
it's too much effort." Like, I've always said, and I'm saying, like, sure, I can upload YouTube videos, but I would need someone to do the editing for me, and I'm not gonna pay them for it. So that's not an issue, or that's not gonna happen, because I feel like if you're hiring an editor, you should obviously pay them worth their time. And
editing takes quite a bit of time as well.
it does take quite a bit of time, and it's just it's something that I well, first of all, I don't have the funds for it, but I don't deem it worth it in a sense. So if I wanted to do YouTube, I would have to edit myself, and that's just something I am not willing to learn right now. So yeah, that's just me, my personal preference. So I figured streaming, yeah, that's all right. I can give it a try. Mainly because I recently got a new laptop because I was playing on an old MacBook that's like falling apart, and I'm using as my second screen for the chat. But that like barely run RS on minimum graphics, and when I figured out that I could play RS3 on high graphics, yeah, I felt like sure, why not give it a try, see if it works, see if I like it. I'll give it a try for 7 days, and if I don't like it, then I don't. My main point of view going into streaming was I wanted to play the game how I normally was.
Yeah, so not to
I didn't
change
I didn't want
anything.
to change anything. I didn't want to do stuff specifically for the stream because they wanted stuff. I just wanted to do what I was doing on Discord, just showing my day-to-day routine, pretty much.
I,
Just as if you're vlogging almost.
I think it's
It's
quite
just,
important because a lot of streamers do try to change like their play style and things. I think when they're live, and it's quite
yeah,
nice to be able to be natural and just.
yeah. I feel like there's a lot of streamers that are sort of in character when they're streaming. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, it can be very enjoyable, but I personally I see it more as just live vlogging, sort of.
Yeah, yeah. Because you
I'm just
literally
here.
sit.
I'm doing nothing different than what I normally would. I'm just sitting here behind my desk, or even I'm on my dining table, for God's sake. On my dining chair, I'm just playing. I just have this light next to my webcam that's like, hey, your camera's on, and there is on my other screen people talking to me, which would normally happen in Discord or in the clan chat, and I'm just showing what I'm doing. Like nothing really changed. for some reason people really enjoy it, because in the first week I instantly got the affiliate status, and
Yeah.
something I wasn't expecting at all. It was like midstream, like, fuck, guys. Apparently you can subscribe now. I don't have any emotes. Like, what am I supposed to do? What's going on? It's super hectic. And even the first streams, I didn't have an. I don't know anything about computers, like Wi-Fi, all that stuff. Like, it's not for me at all. I'm a research guy. I don't do research guy student. I don't do stuff with computers. So it was like, well, I'm dropping a lot of frames, and I'm like, the website developer for the Taskman website was like, maybe you should buy an internet cable, Ethernet cable. I was
Yeah.
like, sure, like, okay. And he sent me a link, Dutch link. I was like, okay, sure. And I was like, okay, there's like 15 cables. Like, what do I buy? I don't know. I don't know. It's like, how many meters do I need? I was just making like 1 meter steps in my living room to see where my modem was and how that works. And I was like, so I just plug it in, right? Or do I need to do anything else? And then somehow magically that pretty much prevented most of the frame drops.
Mm.
And then I'm still streaming on a laptop. It's not ideal, but it's working and people are enjoying it. So yeah,
Is there
yeah, it's been great.
anything you'd change about it at all?
If I had the funds, I would get a proper PC. I have a laptop right now because I need it for to bring it with me to university or to my parents' house. I feel like you're more mobile with a laptop. But my first upgrade, if I wanted to continue streaming, as in like a more professional way, so to
Yes.
say,
Yeah.
I'd probably get a PC instead of a laptop. I would get a microphone instead of a headset, and I would get probably a proper desk and chair.
Rather than the dining chair.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wooden chair with some cushioning, so it's not ideal. And this is where I've done bi-weekly 24-hour streams on, so.
Doesn't sound particularly comfy, to be honest.
um, it's alright. It's what I'm used to. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, I don't know I don't know better. I don't know what it's like to have like one of those nice chairs that you have.
I don't know. This one's
I'm
kind of falling apart a bit now.
I mean, it's probably still more comfortable than what I have. So, but I don't know what it's like because I've never experienced it. So
Yeah.
I'm not missing anything.
It's kind of like the whole like 144 FPS thing as well. Like if you ever get a 144 hertz monitor,
I think this
apparently you
actually
can,
has a 144 hertz
like,
monitor.
apparently going back to 60, you actually notice it. Obviously, it
Okay.
will depend on the game. I'd imagine stuff like Counter Strike and whatever. It
Yeah,
would be
that's
quite noticeable,
yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, so apparently it has like a sticker that says Full HD 144 hertz. So it probably has that. Otherwise, they wouldn't put it on it. But I couldn't tell you, man. Like, this is not for me. So setting up the stream was also very interesting. I've tried it before. It was very confusing, and then I was like, "Fuck it, let's just go for it." I'm gonna just go bare bones first stream. Completely naked stream, like not me being naked, but like my overlays and everything.
that would be quite the memorable first stream, actually.
Yeah, it would be the one and the first and only ever stream, of course. No, but I was like, yeah, let's try it for 7 days, and I'm just gonna add one thing every day. So I streamed for like, I don't know, 10 hours, and then at the end of the stream, I would just stay up, and I would have a notepad on my laptop, and just I still have it. There's stuff like that I need to do, and people were giving suggestions, and I was like, okay, let's change my overlays. Let's add a Spotify thing. Let's maybe add a webcam. That was all just one day at a time, just to ease myself into it. I didn't want to jump into the deep end. I had no idea, man. Yeah, I really like it where it's currently at. So,
Have you got any favourite moments over that time?
probably, of course, the hectic day of me getting affiliate. Finding people in our community that were handy with Photoshop and would make a couple starter emotes for me. Me adding the soundboard, probably.
Is that for
People in my
bit donations and that sort of thing, or?
It is, yeah. You can
Yeah.
trigger a certain sound effect. People, for some reason, really like the knocking sound, which
Oh.
is extremely realistic.
Yes.
And I have my window and front door pretty much on the right side of me, and it starts with a right ear knock as
Yep,
well.
I have a
So
window to
every
the
time
right
I'm
ear,
like,
so.
"What's going on?" And I hear the knock in my left ear, and I know, okay. And there's the screamer one, which is
Always
I told
popular.
I told my girlfriend about it, or it's a jump scare one actually, and she was like, "Why? Why do you do this to yourself?"
People
Um,
love it though.
and like without me even asking anything, she was like, "I'll allow it, but don't get a heart attack."
It's like
Yeah, she doesn't understand it.
Yeah, because I know Brandon, the RS Solo, has a thing for like every X number of like subs, he has to take one of the random flavored beans, like jelly beans.
What are they
Yeah,
called again?
yeah.
We were talking on it about it on a like a laid back Counter Strike the other day. Counter Strike stream, yeah. Bean Boozled, I think it
Yeah,
is.
that's the one. Yeah,
Where it's like one flavor is
possibly two.
popcorn and the other one is
Skunk spray or something like
yeah,
that.
and then it's the
Yeah.
same color bean. Yeah. Oh no, no, I'm not doing
Nah.
that. Not into self harm. No, not at all. Um, no, maybe only the psychological self harm of risking a jump scare. So I recently disabled the chat notification for it, and I don't have
Oh
my own
no.
stream going, so I
Yeah,
can't see the thing pop up. So whenever it happens, it just scares me
it's a
even more.
proper scare rather than you've got
Yeah,
some kind of warning.
yeah. It's good fun. It's good fun. Other favorite moments. I mean, yeah, you can go through my Twitch clips and grab the codex from a couple nights ago, which was probably at about 2 a.m. I'm not sure if my upstairs neighbors really like me anymore, um, but I put it in my stream as a command and put a volume warning in front of it. So it was a very loud scream. Yeah, just those moments that you can share with the stream when you get like a drop that's sought after. You've been grinding for it for a long time, and then it finally happens. Yeah, that's great.
Or even not after a long time, even if you just get it straight away.
Of
Like,
course, yeah. Another thing that comes to mind is when one of my viewers, Fletching, it was on the back-to-back Kriara task that we spoke about earlier.
yeah.
He said 5kc and you get an Armadale helmet, and I went there, and then on 2kc I got a duplicate chain skirt, and on 5kc I actually got a Armadale helmet, which was a unique from me at the time, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
He is actually controlling the Matrix.
Like people call stuff all the time, like, oh, 19 kills and you get this, or surely in another 100 kills you'll have to drop. And then he was like, yeah, 5 kills you get an Armadale helmet, like specifically calling a
Yeah.
certain number, not before or what, no, on the kill count and what
The right
specific item.
item. Yeah.
That was
Crazy.
insane. Yeah.
So obviously your stream is quite laid back, but what would you say the hardest like things about streaming are for you?
Feeling pressured in a way to perform, sort of. Like, there's people watching me, and there's people investing their time and investing their money into me streaming, and I feel like I have to give back.
Yeah.
It can be sort of a backwards thinking pattern, because they could also donate money to you or watch the stream because they enjoy what you're doing. But sometimes when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I really don't feel like streaming. Usually I won't stream if I don't feel like it, but sometimes I do, and then I've done it like once or twice, maybe 3 times, and then it just ends up being a bad idea. And you just
It comes across in the
after
stream. Yeah.
yeah, and then after 3 hours you're like, yeah, guys, just I'm just gonna end it here. That's something I struggle with, finding the balance in that. Probably having sort of a schedule helps with that, but then you want to
But then
stick to your schedule.
yeah, exactly. So that if you ever
So
don't stick to the schedule, you feel like even
you feel
more
like,
so let
yeah,
them down. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you're gonna have, at the point when you're making a schedule, I feel like you're gonna have to sort of balance your real life activities around that as well. Which is something I'm not too keen on. So I just stream when I feel like it, which is quite often, not gonna lie. But yeah, dealing
It's
with
that
that
pressure.
often.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, and
that's. I think that's quite a common thing. I know Protox pretty much stopped streaming because of that.
yeah, I
Like
saw
he
his
he felt like he
YouTube thing.
needed to
Yeah,
be streaming because people were putting money for him. But
yeah, yeah. I see someone here, backseat gamers. That's can be a big thing sometimes. Because we're doing Taskman, some people don't realize like what I'm doing, and they
yeah,
just join, and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why is your gear not perked up? Why are you not using this? Like, do you have courses unlocked?" And then it's like, oh, you gotta keep explaining like what I'm doing. That can
maybe
get annoying sometimes.
maybe you should just have a command that whenever someone starts a chat message with "why," it just brings up a description of Taskman.
I mean, I have the exclamation mark Taskman, of course. Yeah, I usually hit them with that. But
Yeah.
um, and then sometimes you have people that come on your stream and like for as a viewer, of course, if you put yourself in a viewer perspective, it's a way to maybe relax after a long day, or
Hmm.
you want to get away from some stuff. But like when people start sharing like their life stories, and when it's not the moment for it, like it's becoming difficult. Like there's
Yeah.
other people watching as well, and they are just sharing like what's bothering them, sure, but when they start going very in depth and talking about personal things, I sometimes feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily know that
I don't
person to give them
as
advice, and
yeah, exactly, especially when it's like their first message in the stream. Like
so,
it's like
well,
okay, yeah, you do you, and if you actually need help, like please go see a doctor or something. But
yeah, it's then
yeah,
just
you
trying to
don't want to.
move chat on from that rather than getting like
Yeah,
stuck
and
on
if they keep
something.
going, it's you don't want to come across rude, and you know that they are watching you for a reason. And you don't want to like
Just sort of
push
brush them
them.
off. Yeah,
Yeah, but in the same situation, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, it's just difficult sometimes.
because that is kind of a thing as well. I think with Twitch, is a lot of people do get very connected to streamers.
Oh
It's
yeah,
more of an issue, I think, with larger streamers, but also it will filter
larger
down. It's
female
the
streamers.
people feeling like they know them, and not even just female. I think it's a very general thing. Is depending on obviously the category, but
Yeah,
people getting a bit too invested, thinking they actually know what's going on in their life when all they see is the stream. So it's
yeah.
a very tricky thing to.
It is, yeah. But yeah, like a lot of my viewers come from the Tasman community, of course, so they know what I'm doing, and they know what I was like before I started streaming. They've been in voice calls with me before I started streaming. Just giant, you know, just me. Um, but then, of course, as you're continuing on Twitch and in the directory, and you get more random
Yes.
viewers,
Yeah.
then that can become an issue, so to say. Someone asking, "Did you get my parcel?" Oh wow! Imagine though, like you don't know that your address is out there, and you suddenly get
Yep.
something that you're not expecting. That would legit be so fucking scary. Wow.
Hmm. Just a pizza turns up at your door, like, oh no.
I mean, I at that point I would be like, oh yes, but
Unless you have to pay for it.
true. Yeah,
That would suck.
yeah.
So,
No, I've had. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
well, I was gonna say I've pretty much like reached the end, but I'll let you go with your what you were gonna say.
I was gonna say like I've had people that were like, um, when I said something like, "Oh, really feel like grabbing a beer, but I'm out," and then someone just donated like 1,000 bits, like, "Here, go order some beers." And so it's like, wait, what's actually going on here right now? Like,
People are so generous in chat. I swear,
yeah,
like
it's
it's
unreal.
crazy.
I told it to my girlfriend as well, and she was like, "So, did you actually like order the beer?" Or like, "Yeah, of course I'm gonna order the beer. Like the guy's watching. Like I'm not gonna just take his money and be like, hey, thanks, bro." But yeah, um, that's crazy.
Okay, so I've kind of come to the end of all the questions I had, but of course, I'm sure there's some people in chat that might have a few questions for you. So
Oh
let's
boy.
see what we've got. Anyone in chat? It's your time. We've been ignoring you for the past hour or so, pretty much. But yes, we are. We are here. You are now in control. What do we want? What questions would you like to ask Mr. Giant here?
Hit me, hit me, hit me.
Or even myself, if you feel inclined. And let's go through as well, because we've had a few followers. So thank you very much to Ichikin, Brody McBroface, Moho, Horn Attack, and Task Menace, who literally did it just then. So yeah, and Taskman Fist as well. Thank you guys. Can we permaban Billy and Questcape? Look at this, they're all flying in.
Yeah, so Billy, for context, it's Questcape on Twitch and Task only Ironman on Runescape. He's the rank 1 right now. Basically known for having crazy amount of luck, basically.
What would you say the luckiest moment he's had is? There's so many.
Blast diffusion, boots on a Slayer task. Hell, I don't know. There's just too many. Not as lucky as 1KC Codex. Okay, fair enough, but the guy he gets lucky everywhere, and then when he doesn't want to get lucky, that also works. When he wants to like not get lucky at a certain boss to kill it more for certain supplies, and that also works. So yeah, it's stupid. Who's the best Australian Billy? Who's the best Australian? Billy, RNG, or myself? Sorry to others who didn't make the list. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Billy there. Sorry, Menace.
Here is a question that I've asked a few previous interviewees. What's your favourite curry?
My favorite curry?
Hmm.
As in food?
Yes.
Okay. It's probably a red curry with fish and sweet potatoes.
Someone that actually knows curry. It's funny.
Yeah,
I interviewed. It was, I think, Kibium. Like in America, curry just doesn't seem to really be a thing.
Okay.
Then James Rakai had just had butter chicken. I think something a bit plainer, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I have curry paste in my fridge right now. I made it recently. I made it with chicken, not with fish this time around, because my girlfriend prefers. Not girlfriends. She prefers chicken over fish. But yeah, now what I usually do is just a bunch of garlic and an onion, and some peppers. I don't know, just throw a bunch of shit in there. Basically, I don't have like a specific curry recipe, but as I usually make a red curry and then some fresh tomatoes in there, and some protein, some starch. Yeah. Why is your go ahead?
No. Why?
Why is your invention so low, and why are you killing these? Yeah, that sounds like a generic viewer question. Why is my invention so low? Well, in the Taskman challenge, you have to roll a task you have to roll a certain amount of invention tasks in the hard tier before invention becomes a passive skill. And I am still yet to roll the last invention task, which is the auto disassembler, which unlocks invention for me as a passive skill. So that's why my invention is so low. And why are you killing these? Because my task says so. Yeah, it was yesterday. Someone asked, why are you killing King Black Dragon? Where I have a big overlay in my bottom left that says current task. Obtain a unique from the King Black Dragon, and my response is, I'm killing King Black Dragon because my task is to obtain a unique from the King Black Dragon. And
That's
if
not
I
a
kill
fun one.
Because
like all his drops are like 1 in 1k, right? Or 1 in 1.5k.
1 in 2,000.
Yeah.
It's 1 in 500 to hit the drop table, and then there's 4 evenly shared on there. Me, Rig, Foro, FMK. Ooh. Gonna go with Mary Foro, because I think his humor is slightly edgy, and I feel like on stream I can't really go in detail too much on that. Like, it's usually slightly TOS, which is something I try to be myself, of course, but I need to adhere to Twitch guidelines and terms of service, of course. So I feel like me and Furo would probably get along really well. Then, ooh.
Where can we find Taskman mode as well? Of course, taskman.rs.
I'm gonna have to kill Rick, because Rick dies in bosses and stuff anyway, so he's probably used to it.
No change, yeah.
And then have sexual intercourse with Fist, yes. Although, saying that, I wish I didn't. With his name, oh boy.
Of course, any info on Taskman for anyone watching on YouTube is at taskman.rs. Clip being made. Oh dear.
When can we expect the baby? The baby will be in 6 months, when I have my Twitch baby anniversary. It'll be my 9th month of Twitch affiliate.
He's literally been going for 3 months. It's crazy.
I've started in mid-April. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. A lot of babies in 6 months, apparently.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people staying subscribed for 3 months already. The support has been overwhelming. Very much appreciated.
Question about how I started up streaming. Well, years ago, I did a variety gaming channel. Basically, I'd seen the Yogscast, and I got inspired, and I wanted to do that stuff, but it was very low production and stuff. And then I saw streaming back when it was Justin TV.
Right. Yeah.
And it was either on Justin or on Twitch, but I did a 36-hour marathon for charity, and I fell asleep for 2 hours. And there is somewhere out there a VOD of me falling asleep on stream.
Do you remember around which hour it was that you fell asleep?
Pretty much on the 24, I think. I made it to the sun coming up.
Okay.
Fell asleep for 2 hours and then woke back up. I was like, whoops.
Yeah, so yeah, I do 24 hours sometimes, and just for fun, which is something that's crazy apparently in the community. Like I have one viewer that always says these people struggling or thinking about doing a 24-hour stream, planning it for months or maybe even a year for a crazy sub goal, and you just do them for fun. But my moment is when I get tired, I usually try to start at around 2 p.m. ish. I like to sleep in, start my day slowly, and then start around 2 p.m. When I get tired, it's usually around 9 a.m., 10 a.m. After the time where you would normally wake up. And then I still have 4 hours to go. But then usually when I hit the 24 hours, it's 2 p.m. and then I usually feel good, and I just stay up till 10, 11 before I go to bed to not screw up my sleeping pattern.
Because I'm trying to think. I think what I did for the 36 was I did 12 midday through till 12 midnight the next day was the plan.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then you can just go to bed and you wake up probably late, but your sleeping schedule is not completely fucked over.
So anyway, that was years ago. So that was my first experience with streaming. then I stopped doing that YouTube channel. Just life and stuff changes, and then like the current channel RSCC interviews, and it's the same on YouTube. That started just after Runefest last year, because like I was
Okay.
mentioning earlier, I kind of got to know a few more people and find like the friendliness of the community, like IRL, that you don't necessarily see online so much, depending on which forums you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
navigate through. You kind of see a kind of a bit more hostile. So I wanted somewhere to like get community sort of figures out there, and hopefully somewhere that people can come and find new people to watch, that sort of thing, or new artists to
Yeah,
see. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where this sort of whole idea has come from. That was last October, and then every week this year so far, I've been interviewing a new person. So we're
Awesome.
on track for the rest of the year. I'm also doing a few other series on YouTube. I've got a little Final Boss series and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the RuneScape Researcher. I don't know if you saw that video, but that was an
I haven't though.
interesting. Basically,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, pitch it, pitch
I
it. Go
was
on.
I was testing to see if Telos did 40 times more damage at 4K Enrage
I heard
as
about this.
opposed
Yes.
to 0%. Yeah. Oh yeah, the game shows as well. They're like every 2 to 3 weeks. I do one on here,
Yeah.
and they're all sorts of different rounds. Like I did a like who's that Pokemon round? So you'd have a silhouetted RuneScape mob, and you have to guess
Oh,
what
that's
it
awesome.
is.
I feel like I'm really good at the RS trivia thing.
Okay, so
Definitely gonna join you for one of
all
those. When
right.
is the
I
next
I
one?
am
When's the
actually
next one?
looking for the next opponent for Kafar, our current champion. He's won 3 in a row, so
Okay.
potentially.
If it's RS trivia, then sign me up. I know everything about the stuff that I know things about. Apparently.
It's ours
That's been.
trivia, but it's not necessarily. I don't know. I wouldn't say like having an all-encompassing knowledge helps you as much as it might seem. Like the rounds can be a bit skew with.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Like one of the rounds is like, have you ever played GeoGuessr?
Yes, I have.
Is
Love it.
kind of like that in RuneScape, or
Okay.
hide and
Yeah.
seek, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
I always wanted hide and seek, so come at me, bro. I
yeah.
got there.
All right. Well, we got the challenges
Um,
out there.
I, I saw another question here. Would you ever think about streaming your main? Um, I mean, right now I'm really enjoying my Taskman account, but if there comes to a point where I don't enjoy it and I want to stream or I want to play my main, then yeah, sure. I mean, I'm usually playing my main on the background, just component farming, but yeah, I don't see why not.
Is that in the Lumbridge catacombs, like a lot of people have been doing, or yeah?
Yeah, yeah, I'm on about 700k kills right now. It's been
So
good.
I've
So
I've
I'm just
just I've just been doing it spiritual warriors and
yeah, that's a
Selfenham
good one as
dungeon,
well.
because you
Yeah,
get the like Zami and
yeah,
Armadillo
done that for a
components.
fair bit
Yeah,
as well. It's good money as well, like 5 mil per hour probably. Just AFK. But yeah, I'm kind of preparing for the ancient invention stuff. Like I haven't updated my perks and everything, so
yeah. Is there
yeah.
any kind of content you think that would make you stream the main? Anything that would come out that you would be like immediately, oh, I want to stream it on my main because I've got
Mm,
X set up? Or at this point, do you think?
No, not specifically, but what I do think will result in me streaming my main is probably when I roll my first Arexer task. I probably want to give it a quick rundown on my main. I've killed one for the
Oh,
Rebirth title back in the
okay.
day. So I have like I know the ID behind it, but like I want to get a feel for it again, if you know what I mean. Like I want
Yeah.
to experience the environment. I want to see how my character reacts, how the boss reacts, like experience some of the mechanics, and
Yeah, because it's all
um,
well and good watching guides, but actually doing the boss and seeing the mechanic happen in front of your eyes while you're controlling it seems a completely different feeling.
for sure, yes. Yeah, and then the same with like Telos probably. Those kind of things. I probably just want to like to sort of preserve my supplies a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, maybe being a bit choosy with which path you go down, maybe. to make things a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably give it a test run sort of thing. I probably wouldn't go in like my Trimmed Masterwork with max perks, but scale down a little bit to make it somewhat comparable. But yeah, that should be good fun.
It's a good question there from Fist. When do you think you'll lose the unofficial hardcore Ironman status?
Me losing my unofficial hardcore Ironman status? What do you mean? I lose it like 16 times per stream. I think yesterday alone I died like 6 times to King Black Dragon because I was just on another screen and just I didn't have an Alt 1 notification up and I just lost my anti-fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's quite important at KVD. Despite like how quick of a boss it is, that anti-fire does help so much.
Yeah, you get 2 hit if you don't have your anti-fire up. Yeah, and like I'm streaming on a laptop where I have my Runescape screen on full screen, so if I'm going to like Discord, I just alt tab out of it so I don't see anything.
So, Nikki, we kind of covered Taskman a little bit earlier in terms of who invented it, but it was.
I can quickly reply.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Taskman mode was designed by TDS on old school RuneScape, and we have translated it to the RS3 version. And the website has been made by someone from the community, Rompetomp. And you can probably find his website on his personal website on the Taskman Discord, or the Taskman website as well. I'm pretty sure he should be mentioned somewhere. But yeah. Elite tier when? Before August, I would say. Within 3 weeks, I guess. I'm 18% off, so I need about 60. I need 65 more tasks, so that should be doable. Yeah. Insane final boss when? Yeah, down the stretch.
No. You'll come to it when you need to.
There is too much to do in game. I have not tried the method out yet, but it sounds fun. Yeah, it's definitely if you have a lot to do in the game still, it's definitely something to explore everything that there is to offer.
Yeah.
First, oh sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like that's sort of for me as well. Like as I've been playing 18 months or so, I still have quite a bit to do on like a main account first, so I almost want to experience more there.
Yeah, I feel like when you're starting an account, just like you're just going in there, right? And you're just no intentions, just playing the game. I think you're gonna do your quests, you're gonna do level up your skills, and then you're probably gonna kill some bosses. That leaves out all the stuff like achievement diaries, post quest rewards, mini games, random achievements, skill achievements, that kind of stuff. So yeah, and there's a lot more to certain skills than the current meta for training it. So
Pure's first death prediction.
Pure's first death prediction. I don't think he will survive the hard tier. Whether that be to his own fault or to a disconnect. I know he plays it very safe. Like when he has a Pure, for context, he's the rank 1 hardcore right now. It's also in the hard tier. When he does stuff like wilderness content, he can sometimes just not play for a week. Just try to wake up early so he avoids the PKers, do a little bit, and then just log off for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I
a few
see
people who started RS3 straight with Taskman. That's
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way to. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a really good way to get started with the game and to learn what the game has to offer, but it's definitely not the mainstream way of starting a game, I would say.
I mean, I guess the thing with RuneScape, like out of the tutorial, you're kind of just dumped there, so it's quite nice having a step like to work towards.
Yeah. There's of course the achievement parts and stuff, and that gets you going as well. But having a website tell you what to do, it's in a very random order, and having a big community behind it as well, I think really helps.
Because it does seem like the Taskman community is only growing as well. It's
It is,
definitely
yes.
becoming more and more recognised.
So yeah, when I started the RS3 Taskman, it was because the Slayer logs were just released
In the game,
on
yeah.
RS3, and I was playing Taskman on old school at the time, and I wanted to do the Fremenic caves in one go, like obtaining all the drops there. So I would start at Rock Slugs for the light mystic gloves, and then move to the Cockatrice for the head and the boots. And at the Cockatrices, I ran into someone called Taskman EMQ, and I was like, wait, what? You guys got Taskman on RS3 too? This sounds interesting. So I examined him and joined the clan chat, and there were like 5 people, 6 people. As the day progressed, there were maybe 10 people in there. And I was like, well, what's up, guys? I'm a complete completionist-minded guy. I played this on old school and it seemed interesting. And then, where am I going with this? I lost my train of thought.
It was kind of how you got started.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. I just figured RS3 was more my game, and they had Taskman there as well. But how busy it is in the clan chat, yeah. So there were like 5, 6, 10 people in the clan chat at that time. Right now we peak at 60, 70 people online at the same time, and there's a total of almost 500 people in the clan chat, where we have to start thinking about setting up requirements to actually joining the clan. Maybe things like 10% beginner tier completion to show that you're somewhat, that you at least gave it a try and you're somewhat dedicated to actually playing
Progressing it, yeah.
yeah, progressing the challenge. Let's see if there's any other question.
Have you got anyone from the clan chat on your ignore list? Not naming names, of course.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can quickly check and come back to it, but I'm pretty sure I don't. There's people that I sometimes tend to ignore because sometimes I get into a heated argument with them because our personalities don't match.
Yeah.
But I never outright ignore someone unless I have a very good reason. Yeah, let me check.
Alright, well, I feel like... Have we got any more questions, chat? Anything else, or are we kind of winding down? Because I know you're going live after this. And where and when can people find you? For anyone watching on YouTube that's made it this far.
No, I don't have anyone on the ignore list. Where can people find me? People can find me on twitch.tv/giant task with an underscore in there. So twitch.tv/giant_task. When I'm out live, well, I'm European, so I play usually in the European afternoon and evening. If you're from Australia or another part of the world, you can probably catch me later in the day or when I'm doing a 24-hour stream. Please join me during the early mornings, because that's when I get really tired. Yeah, 24 hours is something that I do enjoy, but I do need a couple days after it to restore again, get my energy up there and make sure I don't have any appointments and stuff. Yeah, I don't really have a YouTube channel or a Twitter. I'm in the Taskman Discord, of course. You can hit me up there, and a couple other Discords as well.
Yeah, I'll make sure to
I will be in your Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You will put a Discord link to Tasmaniacs.
Yes, and obviously the website as well for anyone interested in starting one up.
Yep. Yeah, you can just always DM me on Discord there for sure.
Alright, well, next 24-hour when? Let's end on that. Any plans?
Yes and no. Let me see. Not this weekend, because I will be helping my brother move. We'll have to see, actually. I'm going out for a very extended lunch with my dad on a Sunday at some point. So, yeah, I can't really say when the next 24-hour will be, but soon. I do want to do it. I want to soon TM. I want to do another one. I'm gonna aim for another 24-hour within the next 2 weeks. Going outside dance game. Yeah, the sun is shining nice and bright outside.
Alright, so Any shout outs you want to make?
Any shout outs? Shout out to my mom for bringing me to this world. Being serious, shout out to the Taskman community, to the admin team. They're doing an amazing job. Shout out to Rom for making the website. It's been insane. Shout out to TDS for coming up with this game mode, with this how we're doing it. Billy, Jan, Jack, Pro, just the mod team, everyone. It's been great.
All right, sweet. Well,
What about your dad? I just shouted him out as well. I buy him lunch, okay?
All right, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have,
Yeah, it was a great time.
obviously make sure to check out Giant Task, and obviously myself. Nightbot has kindly enough put a little link in chat there to the YouTube channel where this will get uploaded with
Sweet.
the current question box actually being filled out with the current question rather than just being left blank.
Right.
So I know you're going live in a minute, so I will probably.
Yeah, I will be going live in a minute. Yeah, just
Okay.
a short stream today, but I wanna just just chill for a bit. Yeah.